Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast, powered by 19 Media Group. It is your host, Ricky and Kwame. Kwame, my brother, I'm going to get you in earlier, so it's not just a shot of me here. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Coming off a big weekend for the Lakers for today, tomorrow, and, hopefully for the very long futures. I know we're going to talk about that, so we can just jump right into it, but I'm doing well, man. The spirits are high.
Yeah, I think it's officially, or it's been the dog days of summer. We're just going to get right into it. So if you haven't noticed, Luka Dončić just signed his $165 million contract with the Los Angeles Lakers, tying him with the franchise to the 2027-2028 NBA season. He does have an opt-out, which we will talk about soon. Life is good for all intents and purposes over here in Lakerland. Luka is the #1 jersey seller in the NBA this past season, just signed a contract extension, getting called the King of LA. But apparently the real story is folks talking about LeBron James' absence from the press conference. Twitter is twittering, ESPN's doing the Monday news cycle deep dives, and everybody's psychoanalyzing what FaceTime calls could mean. So we'll get into all of that, but let's dive through some of our quick topics, shall we, Kwam?
Yes, sir.
First up, you got Luka Dončić. Like we previously mentioned, he is the #1 jersey seller in the NBA. This has been the first time that a non-LeBron James, Steph Curry NBA athlete has led the NBA in jersey sales. Kwame, 2012 was the last time somebody not named LeBron or Steph had that title. Can you tell me what NBA star led the league in jersey sales for the 2012-2013 NBA season?
Wow, that's tough. 12? I don't know. I'm going to say, is it Kevin Durant?
No, actually, I don't think Kevin Durant has ever led the NBA in jersey sales. This guy only did it once, but you can assume that he had a pretty big, cultural impact when he switched over from a cold weather state to his hometown team. And no guess? Carmelo Anthony. That, I believe, is his year that he switched over to the Knicks when he was traded to the Knicks, right? Or the year that he signed that? Yeah. Right. Melo. Yeah.
Wow, Melo. I didn't see that coming. I would not have guessed Carmelo Anthony.
Shout out Melo. I had a Melo Nuggets jersey. It was when they really started doing they dark blue throwbacks, and they had that Denver script and then the two pickaxes going across. Man, Melo was a man, hard, bro. He didn't, obviously we was Lakers fans back there, but it didn't matter. Melo was that guy. In fact, I thought he was that guy so much that I decided to buy a large, and that bad boy was way too small. I got home with it. My parents made me return it, bro. It was there's no way you spent that money on that small of a jersey. So shout out Carmelo Anthony. Also a one-time jersey sales leader was the year right before that with Derrick Rose. Hometown
Derrick
guy.
Rose sounds about right. Derrick Rose, that makes sense.
Late Night Lake Show.
Up next. So, Luka goes from cover of Men's Health magazine, flying around literally across the country, doing different basketball events. He was just in Chicago. We saw him in New York. Gets to LA over the weekend, signs a $90 bazillion contract extension, and he hops on a flight and goes right to the Backstreet Boy concert in Vegas. I mean, pretty solid weekend for Mr. Doncic. He was partying with his Laker teammates. Yes, sans LeBron, but that's okay. He had a lot of his other guys supporting. Rob Pelinka, in what I'm seeing with my eyes, is, I think, throwing up gang signs in celebration to, I want it that way. So shout out Rob. And then you also got the surprise man, the new owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, Mark Walters, buying Luka and the Lakers at VIP seats. My question, because obviously that's dope. That's what's up. That's what you're supposed to do when the face of the franchise signs an extension. But Kwame, my question to you would be, bro, if you were to sign for that much money and they threw you a surprise concert in Vegas at the Sphere, who are you going to see, brother? I know.
I'll be honest, I don't know, man. That's tough. I mean, it's difficult because I'm not a big live music guy, like concert dude. I feel like the music don't always sound as good. Somebody who gonna give me a show, I don't know, maybe if you would ask me 3, 4, 5 years ago, I probably would have said Kanye. I heard his shows are crazy. Drake is still on the list. I've never seen a Drake show. I'd love to see that. Even though I know he's not super popular right now in the media circles, but whatever, I'd like to see that. I don't know. There's a handful of artists, but I don't know. Entertainers, maybe a Beyonce, maybe something like that. It definitely wouldn't be Backstreet Boys, I'll be honest with you. It's even been surprising for Luca. Luca's born in what, like 99? He's 26. Like, how much Backstreet Boys did he really get in? You know what I'm saying? That was Rob Pelinka just trying to turn up for his old self. But no, like I said, it'd probably be somebody of the air like Beyonce, maybe like a Chris Brown, a Drake. I probably wouldn't, you know, I don't think I need a celebration. I just signed for $165 billion. I can celebrate that enough. Like, hey, there's going to be a lot of years of celebration. Backstreet Boys don't move me, but good on the ownership to take him out, fly him out, have him a good little night, a little soiree to celebrate this long-standing partnership. So I think they did well by him. And like I said, if he's appreciative and that's something that he wanted to do, that's great. Or something that he just enjoyed, you know, getting to know these guys, chop it up in a social setting. I think that's good. But I don't know. For me, I don't know.
No, we got Beyonce, we got the pre-canceled Kanye West,
Kanye,
a little, you know, some Aubrey. You know, I think Aubrey would probably be my top 2 to 3 pick. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you, bro. If I sign that big of an extension, get me to a Kate Trinata concert and don't drug test me for about 3 months, okay? Because we, for real, about to have some nation after 165 M's was signed on the dotted line, right? We doing all the testing to make sure everything we got is safe. But once we pass that test, we flying high. Give me giving the babies a binky. Give me that light up binky and move the hell out of my way. I'm gonna look like Terry Crews and White Chicks, bro.
Kate Trinata, I respect it.
Man. I got to go see them. They're gonna be out in Chicago in November, so you know maybe I'll get a non-$165 million contract party out of that. So I'll show you the details.
Fair.
Hey, Kwam, let me know, man. Oh, by the way, if you want to have a jump scare, there's a beardless Gabe Vincent in those videos too. So, you know, it's maybe the shooting will come around with the refreshed look, but I don't know, man. That was not, it was scary. So shout out Gabe. Kwame, I'm gonna let you take this next note away. Your arch nemesis from over the years, LeBron's #1 enemy. The Golden State Warriors seem to have a little bit of turmoil with one of their younger core players. What's up with this whole drama with Jonathan Kuminga and the Warriors?
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors only want to offer him what, a 2-year deal, or an extension, sorry. And Kuminga's not really having it. He wants a longer deal. I think, what is he, 22 years old, I believe? He's a young guy. He's looking for a little bit more than that. So I think the Warriors' current offer is just a 2-year. Sorry, they can offer him up to a deal that would pay him $63 million over 3 years, but currently they're only offering him a 2-year, $45 million offer, but only the first year is guaranteed. So if he's traded, he can be waived at no expense to the team, and it kind of puts him in an odd place. He loses his bird rights, no trade clause, and he'll lose that if he is waived, if he does sign that deal that the Golden State Warriors have currently proposed. If he signs the 1-year qualifying offer and then enters restricted free agency next year, you know, that could happen as well. But, you know, with the cap rising, that causes the Golden State Warriors to have a little bit of issue with their books. Again, they got some big dogs tying up their dollars right now. So they got Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green that are eating up majority of their payroll. They're going to be hitting those aprons, that first and second apron. They're going to be dancing between those two, which means even making moves is difficult. It sounds like they don't want to trade him. They're deciding that they're probably not going to trade him. They haven't liked the offers they've been fielded. And to be honest, you know, Jonathan Kuminga, ultimately, he's a relatively unproven player. Unfortunately, I think he's talented. I think he has some good athleticism, some good skills, stuff that can be developed. But unfortunately, when you play for the Golden State Warriors, you have to be a part of a system. It's very much reminiscent of the old Spurs. You have to play within the system. You don't get to just break out and do dribble tweens and then get whatever you want. That's not how the Warriors play. It's ball movement predicated on, you know, screen setting and moving without the ball and stuff that he may not get the touches that I think he wants in his young career, the potential I think he thinks he can hit. So obviously that's why we see a bit of an impasse there between the Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga's camp. So we've seen that the Sacramento Kings have offered a couple deals. One was just Malik Monk, and then another player, probably Dario Saric of sorts, and then a protected first-round pick. The Warriors seem to be willing to do the deal, provided the pick can be unprotected, but sounds like those trade talks have essentially, you know, disappeared. So there's really not a market for Jonathan Kuminga at the moment. I think they have until October 1st to make sure that qualifying deal is set. Somebody fact check me on that. No, it is October 1st. I'm right. So he has to accept that. Otherwise, they're going to go into a season with a lot of ifs on what the future for Jonathan Kuminga is. Honestly, I think the kiss of death came when they brought in Jimmy Butler. He provides a very similar skill set that Kuminga does, probably with a bit less playmaking. Jimmy Butler's a pretty decent playmaker, I would say. Kuminga doesn't really have that in his game. He's just tunnel vision. How can I get a bucket? Because I'm faster, more athletic, whatever it may be. He's still in that young stage. So I don't know if he's willing to sit around and wait for his turn. We've already seen he wasn't willing to do that before. There was a story that leaked last season about Kuminga kind of being done with Steve Kerr and his rotations, and he kind of wanted out. And we see now that even the front office is having a bit of a hesitancy to bring him on completely. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But unfortunately, the Kuminga contract talks have stalled the Warriors' entire offseason. They have made no moves to better their roster. They've done nothing. And it's all hanging on the crux of this. And unfortunately, it's not looking good for the Warriors over there. And you know what? I don't feel bad for them, not one bit. Because every opportunity they had to extend their window, they've done something stupid to close it. They had Jordan Poole, the Steph Curry successor, and they let Draymond punch him and pack him up. And now they're looking at a roster where your core is all 35 and above. Your 3 stars are all 35 and up. And you're supposed to win the championship with that? Come on, man. So honestly, it sucks for the Warriors. It's not great for them, but it is what it is. It's unfortunate. No love lost here. I can't wait to see that team squirm another season.
Crying. And I appreciate you getting in a couple of Jimmy Butler shots through that John
always
conversation. So
I'm Jimmy Butler's biggest hater. I might put that on my Twitter handle or on my bio.
Just to do it.
Someone's got to do it.
Last topic for our quick hits before we dive into the Luka extension. The NBA, the Lakers, Nike, somebody came out and announced that the Lakers will be running back their City Edition jerseys, uniforms from 2 years ago. This is, what is it called? The City Night? What is this called, bro? It is called the California Dream. The California Dream jersey, which the Lakers previously used a couple years back, is making a return. They, I guess, started working on a new one, decided to stop, and just said, let's go back to what works. So I guess this is also has to do a little bit with the Lakers as a team deciding we not wearing last year's gradient, whatever we call in this purple to black Lake Show jersey that they went 1-9 in. They threw those off to the side. And as you know, they did not see him again. So Kwame, this question, I guess, is for you. More so, we always like to take a look at the new jerseys that Nike is rolling out each year, not just with the Lakers. But overall, bro, what's the take on them recycling 2 years ago's jersey? And what overall, outside of the obvious Black Mamba joints, is your favorite one?
Yeah, I there's a reason why I think they do this, and I think it's because I think they want to bring this black jersey in because it doesn't fit the normal, what do they call it now, statement, and I don't remember what the other jersey is called.
Yeah,
I think it's association and statement jerseys, which is absurd, but I think the reason is because obviously they have a purple, they have a gold jersey, and then they have the Sunday whites, well, which aren't always on Sunday anymore. They're just kind of white jerseys
everywhere.
I think they just wanted a black, and that's the only black jersey that we've had that's a City jersey that is not the Mamba ones. So that's going to be my guess why they brought it back. I don't like that jersey. I'll be honest. I didn't love it. I don't really like the way Los Angeles is on the top, like that weird like triangle thing. I know it's supposed to be symbolic for some reason, but I don't get it. I don't really like it. I don't like the way it looks on the jersey personally. I don't mind the color scheme. I just wish the way they had Los Angeles was a little different. Yeah. Personally, my favorite, like you said, excluding the Black Mamba joints, honestly, I think it might be the Minneapolis ones, the white and the blue. I think those are just so crispy and clean. That white, the hints of blue, I think it's just icy. Like, it really gives me that feeling. It's like refreshing. But to be honest, the first 4 I thought were all pretty good. I enjoyed the pinstripes. I know people don't like the most dominant ever Shaq joints. I thought they were kind of cool, especially on court. I didn't mind them. And then the purple one with the 2 stars next to the numbers, the one that came after the icy blue joints, was the last good one to me. But since I didn't really like the white and purple, I don't like the current ones they're recycling, and the gradient ones I actually despise. So, but honestly, me personally, the icy whites, the Elgin Baylor, Minneapolis ones, those to me are chef's kiss.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you there, man. As I'm just looking at these, I'm like, at some point they ran out of ideas, and I just don't understand, man. Like companies like Nike and your Adidas, your Puma, anybody that could design jerseys, there should be a department for just jersey innovation. Like, and it don't got to be a big department. You just need 2 to 3 people that's just in a room coming up with new concepts, new seasons of jerseys, right? Like, it ain't even got to be the actual season for you to drop a new concept of a jersey just to get the people excited. So I do, I feel like along the way, and it's not just necessarily with jerseys for me, it's honestly with overall sports creativity and design and logos overall that I feel like we're lacking. I'm seeing, I think the last new team that I rocked with their logo, I did like the Golden State Valkyries. I thought that was a nice approach to a new logo. But then you got the Portland Heat, which is a new expansion W8 NBA team. And it's like, did y'all try? And if the answer is no, why? But not to stay too long on the soapbox, obviously the Black Mambas will forever be in Laker legacy. And man, like if they you remember the old throwback knockoff of black Lakers jerseys before they had black Lakers jerseys, where they would just put
those are tough.
Bro, the cursive Los Angeles, and you had the purple on the side. It's essentially what we're seeing with this, but they just decide to make this, secret society triangle, above it. So I think they can execute. I still think there's a very long runway for jersey designs, especially for the NBA. The NBA used to be cool with their logos and their jerseys and their personalities. The oversized rocket, just the entire goddamn thing. You got a Milwaukee Buck with the deer is 3/4 of the jersey. Like, it's okay, guys. Like, let's bring back that ultra creativity. This minimalism shit's starting to get a little old. So
yeah, it's definitely sweeping the market. I'll be honest, hot take. I even think the Lakers earned jersey. Remember they did the earned ones? Like if you made the playoffs, you got a special jersey. They did that for that was 2
dope.
years. We had the 2020-21 joints. It's similar, black and it's basically a black jersey. It says Lakers on. It's like a bit of like a raised text, it looks like, or like the block lettering. I love that. I think that looks better than the ones they're going to recycle for this year, but teach their own. Nike's just going to keep doing shit to make the money that they need, and I get it. But can they at least give us Christmas Day jerseys back then? They're going to throw all these city jerseys at us. Can we at least get Christmas jerseys back, Nike? Please? Please? Those made the day feel special, man. Yeah. We've strayed far from the path of light.
Just the easy layups. They complain about, you'll hear old heads talk about, the game and how youngins are training for basketball these days. And it's all trainers and silo, right? And very, very organized and with not a lot of team ball, right? Not a lot of just pick up and go. Bro, that's how I'm feeling. That's how I'm feeling with some of these designs and this overall just thought. They want to go, they'd rather do something extravagant, weird, then just give us our Christmas jerseys back. And it don't take much.
Give us the logo in the NBA Finals.
Give us the they were starting
to do the virtual joints on the court. Yeah, like come on, man. Like we get it, but you're not fooling us. Like let's get back to the roots and then expand from that. Nobody asked for some of these changes, so it is what it is.
It is what it is. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and when we jump back, we're gonna get into the Luca money and Donde está la King LeBron? Late Night Lake Show. Don't move. All right, well, I'm just gonna roll back in from that. Just call me during the break. Just let me know what Warriors fans nicknamed Jonathan Kuminga, and we're not gonna repeat it for the air raise. I just want to let y'all know, Warriors fans, I can't wait until the day when you guys are back in irrelevancy, because if that is the nicknames you're giving your core players, shame on you. In any event, on to bigger and better things, Luka Dončić, at least $165 million richer. Signed that 3-year contract extension with the Los Angeles Lakers on Saturday. Rob Pelinka was Rob Pelinking with his quotes. Let me just pull them up, make sure that I got correctly here. He says Luka is an absolute killer on the court and blends with a unique generosity and care for the community. You get it? Like he's a demon, but he's also like a great guy. Yeah. Above all else, Luka will lead our franchise to pursue future championships, a goal that will forever define the Lakers. It was very clear that the keys have been handed, tossed, put into a Cartier, case, and given to Luka Dončić as the next superstar of the franchise. He obviously is aligned with that plan with his contract extension. Yes, Luka did forego more money in this extension, but this is probably the biggest but you can come up with. He is now in line to sign a 5-year, $417 million contract extension if he declines his player option in 27-28. $17 million for 5 additional years of basketball. Kwame, it's funny. Someone on X when it was the contract terms were posted, and I went to LNLS account and tweeted about it. They were like, well, he's going to be washed by the time he signs that extension. And I'm just like, I had to go check his birthday. I had to check his horoscope. I had to go and check all the details to see what the fuck they was talking about, because Luka will be 29 in the 27-28 season, bro. When we say that the Lakers went and got their guy for the future, he'll be in a Lakers uniform, God willing, into the early 20s. Okay.
Yeah.
Like to us, that's a decent amount of ways away. But to someone who's still in their early 20s, there's still a whole lot of basketball to be played. So, Kwame, reaction to the Luka contract extension, his details, and $417 million Supermax waiting for him.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week. And yeah, he kind of did what we expected. We expected him to sign this past weekend, and he did. I know one of the options was that obviously he could forego extending this season, extend next year for an additional year. But by doing a 3-year contract this way, he can opt out of that 3rd year, and that'll get him up to 10 years of service, which allow him to sign for that Supermax. That's, 35% of, the cap hold, which is, the 5-year, $417 million or whatever you just described earlier. So honestly, for him to maximize his profits, yeah, that was the best deal for him to take. So he surely didn't give us no discount, but we don't need a discount out here. But I love it. I love it for him. I think it's going to be great. I'm glad that he was just ready to commit today and not willing to put, Lakers fans through the, oh my gosh, what's happening? Is he going to stay? It kind of shut up a lot of the other fan bases who were swearing that Luka was not going to come back. He wasn't going to stay with the Lakers, whatever it may be. So I'm glad he shut up that crowd as well. But I love it. I love the move. I love it for us. I love it for Luka. I love it for the Lakers organization, fans worldwide. I think this is a huge move. Again, you get one of the most transcendent stars in the peak of LA, and Luka is a showman, so he's gonna love the bright lights that the Lakers are gonna bring. And this is honestly, to be completely honest, this is gonna catapult the NBA, who's been starving for a star to take the mantle, a young star to take the mantle. Luka's gonna be that guy in LA. We're gonna see it for years to come, and this is the start of it. So I love it. I've been a Luka fan for years, man. I've been singing this man's praises, and he made it easy. He came to my team, came to the team I support. I'm firmly parked. I'm sat. So yeah, we're good. We're good. I'm excited for this, man. So Luka's on. He's on board. Like I said, at least for the next 2 years, he'll re-up. We won't have pocketbook issues. We have new ownership coming in the way with deep pockets. They'll be able to get Luka the money he needs without a hitch. It won't even be a second thought. He's gonna sign that sucker, and like you said, we're gonna ride into the 20s with the Luka Lakers. So hey, how much better does life get than that?
Not much. But if you ask around, they'd still want to act like we're not having a great summer. We not enjoying the beautiful weather and the outside, the sunshine, rainbows, and the fresh water. I don't know, man. I think this is amazing. I think this is just another sign that I made the best decision of my life, becoming a Lakers fan back when I was a young pup, right? Like it's
God's favorite franchise.
God's favorite franchise, and don't y'all forget it. Please don't forget that. I get it. Y'all superstars cement your organization, and it's from one era, and you can call back on that one era. Trust me, I'm a Bears fan, all right? I'm a Chicago Bears fan. All they talk about is 1985.
Yeah.
That's it. All the greatness from that Super Bowl Chicago Bears team. Guess what? The world keeps going, and it's 2025, and now no one really cares about what Mike Ditka did, and all of that stuff. And shout out Sweetness, and that was speak ill on GOAT's name. But the point is, y'all, time keeps ticking forward, and the Lakers remain the same. No matter what you think about the organization, how it's ran, ownership, now new ownership, hello, they're gonna end up with a superstar. From Kareem Kareem and Magic, to Shaq and Kobe, to just Kobe, it's Kobe and Powell, to just LeBron, to LeBron and AD, to now LeBron and Luka Dončić. You can only imagine the next name that's going to show up after that, and we might find out sooner than later. So, Kwame, you mentioned that with the contract extension by Luka Dončić, that has sealed your contract of Laker for lifer. I was curious though, bro, with all of this manufactured drama about LeBron James's summer and how happy or unhappy he is, I did start to wonder to myself, man, would Kwame leave too? Especially with Luka here. Would Kwame and Bronny and LeBron leave for Cleveland and leave me and Late Night Lake Show stranded, bro? What were you prepared to do? Did you have contingency plans set up?
For a LeBron exit?
Yeah.
Pre-Luka? I mean, I didn't think he was going to exit pre-Luka, I'll be honest. I always had the thought in my mind that he was just going to stay a Laker. And I had made the decision that I was not going to move again. I would still support LeBron, whatever team he goes to, but I'm not buying another jersey, bro. Like, it's it. Like, that's all, folks. No. I had planned to stay with the Lakers for the long haul. I got a buddy we were both Cavs fans. When LeBron went to Miami, we went to Miami. When he went back to Cleveland, he said, I'm staying. Yeah, so I'm a Heat fan, and he's still a Heat fan to this day, die hard. So I was like, I could take a page out of that book, commit. And like I said, I love how Laker Nation has been. It's been a great ride these past 7 years of my fandom. Like, it's been a lot of fun. The people I met, discourse, every game is do or die with the Lakers.
Trips,
and I actually think that's kind of fun. You know, hey, it's fun. So I'm here for the long haul. I've seen how you guys have been mysteriously blessed, like every single time. Every time it looks dark, it's like, oh, psych, here's some daylight. And it just keeps happening. So I want to experience that. Right. I want my children to be able to experience that. So, I want to be in the good graces of the Lakers. Now it's time for me to commit as well. So I am here. And like I said, I told you, I was going to be on the side, little MFFL, Mad Fan for Life on the side. Like I told you that a couple years ago. Ron departs, I'm Luka Nation on the side. He came to me. This is the universe telling me this was always in my destiny to be a part of the Lakers family. So I'm here to stay, man. I'm here to stay. And even if LeBron decides to leave, hey, I'll support you from a distance, but I'm here. I'm here for the future with Luka.
It's Luka time, I see, and I think there's a lot of LeBron fans had a LeBron to Luka pipeline set up, and we just alleviated any type of travel issues, any zip code change. You know how much of a pain in the ass it is getting all your mail switched over to a new address. You ain't got to do that, brother. You locked in. We locked in. We so happy to have you and the rest of our new Lakers fans. Welcome to you guys. You know, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, this is what you're gonna get. A lot of me and Kwame and some fun special guests, as you guys probably see on the back, just scrolling through. So try to have a good time. Late Night Lake Show, and as the season picks up, we definitely gonna have a good time. So, okay. Now, we ain't got to be here forever, but, you know, Kwame, there was an absence from the Luka presser and the Backstreet Boy concert turnout. I go on Instagram. I see Big Bron doing his best Charles Barkley impersonations on the golf course. Man getting his swings in. Hey, it takes 10,000 hours for you to, be a master at anything, right? LeBron obviously is in hour 7 of golfing. Any concern, any issue with LeBron not being there, or at least not being vocal publicly about Luka Dončić's extension?
No, none at all. Like not one inkling of my being is like, that was kind of bogus. Nah, and again, people are gonna stretch the optics as far as they can because they see what the Lakers are. They see they just signed Luka, so they're like, we got to figure something out. Like these guys are looking like they're looking like world beaters. Like something might happen, so they gotta manufacture fake drama to try and get everybody stirred up and riled up and have question marks pop up. LeBron is 40, going on 41. He turns 41 this calendar year. December, he is going to be a 41-year-old man. And you expect him to be at every presser for every new No, man. He's enjoying his vacation. He's still hooping. He's doing his thing, but he's enjoying his time off. The man is going to play his 23rd year of basketball. I challenge you viewers, listeners, what have you ever been able to do for 23 years consistently? So, like I said, he's gonna take his time to enjoy it. I don't have any doubts he's gonna roll into training camp. ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised if he does his LeBron camp again and gets people psyched. He's going to be ready to go for the season. I have no doubts there. And honestly, at this point, it's not his job to be the ambassador for the Lakers anymore. Luka's now the franchise player, and it's so him making the calls to Marcus Smart, welcoming DeAndre Ayton. That's his job now as the franchise leader. Nobody's asking, and even though they very well could, but nobody's asking, hey, where's Austin Reeves? We ain't seen Austin Reeves all summer. I ain't even seen him play golf this summer. Where's Austin Reeves at? Is he mad? He was in that report, too, that apparently him and LeBron don't like playing basketball with Luka, even though they played with him for like 2 months and they were hooping. But apparently it's all, oh, we don't like the, come on. Like, are we really going to believe this? Like I said, the season's going to start. We're going to start winning games, and we're going to look back at the summer, the discourse over this summer, and be like, wow, that was a little ridiculous. I think it's going to be fine. I don't take any stock into it. Like I said, LeBron doesn't need to be the ambassador for the Lakers anymore. Let the man enjoy his time. As long as he comes into the season correct in hoops, what more do we need from the guy? Sometimes I think we overdo the optics of everything outside of basketball. Doesn't matter as long as what they're doing outside of what we see the product on the court be, as long as it's not like super destructive or, whatever it may be, who cares? If they show up when the season tips and LeBron is LeBron and they're winning games, does it matter that he wasn't at a press conference? No, like this stuff doesn't matter. Like we got it. I get it. Slow media. There's nothing going on in the summer, but I don't, this is a non-story to me again. Him taking pictures with the Clippers logo behind him, non-story. Like, okay, but I get it. The anti-LeBron crowd is just feasting. I know the Laker fans who've hated LeBron this whole tenure here can't wait for him to be out the door so they can just love Luka. They can't wait. I get it. The media cycles who've been churning the name around for 23 seasons to line their pockets, everybody's feeling it come to an end and they're panicking. Everyone feels it coming to the end. They don't know what to do. So grasp at the last few straws y'all have, man. Enjoy it. But you know what I'm going to enjoy? I'm going to enjoy these last couple seasons of greatness. So for me, I'm not worried about the antics, the storylines, none of that. Until I hear it come out of LeBron James's mouth himself. It's all speculation. It's all rumors swirling. Rich Paul said they're going to be monitoring moves. He didn't say, y'all better do it or out. Like, he didn't even the threat wasn't even harsh. It was just, hey, we're going to be monitoring the moves. And they made some good ones. The roster's better, in my opinion. So, like, what do you think LeBron's looking for? What do you think he wanted? He wanted someone, like, tell me what he was looking for. The whole roster to be traded for who? For who's available. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think they filled the gaps they needed. Rob maintains they want to keep flexibility as they continue to go through the season for whatever that may be. Luka is saying the same things LeBron is saying. I want to win now. I don't want to wait. So how are we not on the same page here? To me, this is all the same page. And to be honest, I think we know who Luka's favorite player was growing up. It's his teammate, LeBron James. What you think Luka hasn't talked to Bron and be like, look, I want you to be here as long as you want to be here. And I'm sure LeBron's like, hey, I'm glad that I could pass this on to you. Like, I think there's a lot of conversation that probably happens between the two of them that we'll never know, hear anything. I think they're on the same page. I think they have a great amount of respect for each other. I think we saw it in the games. They have great chemistry. Things work. It never felt like even if it was a his turn, my turn thing. We saw LeBron do this before with Dwayne Wade and they figured it out. Why can't he do it again? And I don't think LeBron wants to have to go out there and score 30 every game. I really don't think he does. I really think he will relish not having to do that. Now, can he go crazy a quarter year? Yeah, I think he'd love that. But no. So for me, all the LeBron stuff is nonsensical. I think people the rage that his name invokes in people is absolutely absurd. I think y'all need to talk about that with y'all therapists, get that out, whatever it is. But I think this pairing is great. I think their timelines are aligned. And Rob even let us know. And again, I think people might have skipped over this message because it wasn't reported super heavily. Rob said, we want to respect LeBron and his family's timeline on how much longer he wants to play. And I think that's important. Maybe the contract extension didn't come because LeBron said, I don't know when my last year is going to be. I might be done after this. We'll play it by ear. But we don't know that. We're speculating, the Lakers didn't give it to him because they don't want him. We don't know that. They could have said, LeBron, what are you looking for your future? He said, I don't know. Let me play this contract out. Let's revisit in the summer. It could have been something as simple as that. We just don't know. And like I said, I think Rob's quote was a bit more telling. We don't know. Made it almost seem like they don't know what to offer LeBron because he hasn't given them indication on when he wants his career to end. And that makes sense. And they're going to respect that. And I think everybody's going to. So I think it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm not worried about it. What say you?
I think you You touched on pretty much all the points, man. I think first off, right, I do want to acknowledge that this is not without a couple of interesting things that happen, right? You know, the Lakers did not give LeBron a heads up about the AD trade. Okay, you don't necessarily have to, I guess. The Lakers also did not give LeBron the heads up on the franchise being sold. Reportedly, they gave Luca a heads up. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Why not your superstar that's been there get the heads up and not just the new guy on the block? So, you know, I think there are small things like that. Yes, Rich Paul saying that they're going to monitor the moves that the Lakers make. Rob saying if LeBron retires a Laker, I think that would be great. There's not without a little bit of room for, hey, why are y'all saying these things like this? Now, I'm not here to dive too. I think your point about him signing this 1-year deal as another, you know, example of him maybe not being sure what the future holds for him, which I do think is fair, right? He's looking around the league. He knows he could still make a strong impact on the game. But I think we started to see towards the end of the year, bro, like, who was the first sub out? It was LeBron, right? Like, that man needed his rest towards the end of the NBA season. I think he's honest about that, right? As someone who's very in tune with his body, it's how long can I continue to do this? And I think there might be a little bit of, I'm just not going to string the Lakers up for, like, let's just say a 5-year fully max extension when I only plan on playing this and maybe one more. You get what I'm saying? So I think, I think Big Bron and the Lakers, and more importantly, I think Rich Paul and the Lakers, they're on the same page, or at least they have an understanding of where each other lies. Now, where are they going to tell us fully where each other lies? No. But also, it's not for us, right? That's business between the most famous basketball organization in all of sports history and arguably the best basketball player to ever touch a basketball in his representation. Sounds like some top level shit that I'm just not going to be a part of.
Honestly, before we close that point, one last thing I want to make a notice is, like, don't be surprised don't be shocked if LeBron goes out in a way people didn't think he would go out. Again, I always think it's funny that people never listen to what LeBron literally says out of his mouth, but then just believe every single report that's ever said about him.
Right.
Remember on his podcast, he said recently, I don't know if I want to do a retirement, you know, or like a farewell tour. So I don't really know if that's for me. I don't really know if I want to do all that. People are like, no, he's lying. He's egotistical. He never pass an opportunity.
Right.
Don't be surprised if he just dips at the end of the season and says, hey, I set my 23 record. It's my jersey. I'm out.
Oh.
We overheard the conversation that was recorded in New York when I believe he was out with Kevin Love for a dinner, and he's saying Savannah wants me to retire in the next year or so. This is what came out of his mouth. This isn't a journalist speculating and reporting. These are two things that came out of his mouth. The Lakers didn't give him a contract, but then in the same breath, Rob is saying, look, we want to respect LeBron's timeline for when he wants his career to end. I think those three things, don't be surprised if he hangs it up at the end of the year. Don't be shocked. And I know people will be flabbergasted because they swear he's going to need to be paraded around with a crown on his head for every game because they think he's that big of an egomaniac.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if he just rides out. I'm going to tell y'all, don't be surprised if he just rides out.
Lakers would be disappointed. Nike would for sure be disappointed. The NBA would be disappointed. But who gives a shit? You're allowed to retire whenever you want to retire. And however you want to retire, right?
He doesn't owe this league nothing else. He's given this league 23 years of dedicated service. He don't owe them nothing else.
And I may be mistaken, but, you know, I'm fairly sure it was weeks, if not months, into his final season or so, where Kobe announced that he's going to retire at the end of the season. And I might have to fact check that, but I'm fairly sure that, like, Kobe didn't start the year.
I think he did. I think he did say he was going to retire at the start of the season. He said he was only going to play all the road games because he wanted everybody on the road to get one more opportunity to see him. But home games, he didn't really play, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like hit or miss, but he played. He said he wanted to be ready for every road game so everybody can get an opportunity to see him for the last time.
He wrote Dear Basketball on November 29th, 2015. I mean, obviously the
Probably
season
just a
had
couple
started.
weeks before.
Yeah, man.
It's usually like the week before Halloween. So like late October.
I'm going to assume, yeah, the season had started by the time, and then Kobe dropped this, like I said, a month or so into the season.
Yeah, about a month or so in.
And
that's fair.
It's, to me, a perfect example of, listen, man, leaving this sport that you have known for your entire life is not just going to be something that is just, well, one day I love it, the next day it's, I'm up out of here, right? It is a grind to have that lifelong breakup, right? That is Kobe's first love, LeBron's first love was a basketball. And obviously Kobe had thoughts that this might be coming to an end, but I'm sure there was a practice. I'm sure there was a flight. I'm sure there was a rehab assignment where he was just like, bro, this really is it. I'm done. And then he drops this. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if LeBron decides to go out on his terms without some pre-planned, rollout, even though we know Nike's ready. We know the shirts. We know everything, the campaign. We know everything is ready. So, really good point there, Kwam.
Late night Lake Show.
Switching up, let's get us out of here with a fun topic that just hit our Monday morning newsstand. Well, I'll let you take this away, but apparently we have nothing else to talk about but Giannis potentially being open to playing somewhere else as long as it's a major city.
Whew, what a slow news
Breaking
day in the
news.
summer, right?
Yeah.
Jeez. I feel like this has been speculated every year for who knows how long. But, this is the typical thing when you have a superstar in a small market that seems to kind of just continually hit roadblocks, especially once you kind of get into the playoffs. And Milwaukee's kind of been that since they hit the pinnacle in the 21 season where they won the championship. It's been, they can't get back to the mountaintop, right? And they've tried a few things. Again, they brought in Damian Lillard. He had an unfortunate Achilles tear. They waived him. They haven't really brought back anybody of merit. They got Miles Turner for swapping out Brook Lopez, which is actually an upgrade in my opinion. Very similar style player, just younger, more athletic, several other things. But this roster by no means, man, is a championship roster. But even in the East, that's going to be pretty much on its hands and knees this season. No, man, I just don't see it, unfortunately. Giannis would literally have to average 50 a game to get up out of here sweet. I mean, you're probably looking at a starting lineup, probably Cole Anthony, Gary Harris, Taurean Prince, Kyle Kuzma. There's one extra person. So you probably take actually, I don't know who you take out of that lineup. I don't know. I'm looking at this roster and I'm just seeing a lot of so it's difficult. I see where Giannis would want to ask out, but something tells me he won't. I mean, but we've been playing this offseason game for literally every year since that championship of what's Giannis going to do. Is he going to ask out? What does he want to do? He's essentially holding the organization, quote unquote, hostage. And I just don't know what more the Bucks can do. Again, it's not a super appealing place for free agents. I'm surprised even Miles Turner went, but he was in Indiana before, so that
is an upgrade. I just want to be clear. And shout out to the folks who love Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm going to Milwaukee first. So
yeah, but it's again, it's going to be a hard free agent destination. Doc Rivers is the coach. I just see a lot here where it's just difficult, man. It's just difficult.
Well, then, if that's the case, man, if it's rough, if I'm Milwaukee, why the hell would I trade Giannis then? Why would I let go of any of this? Because then we're going back into
the real Stone Ages.
Where's Brandon Jennings? Right? That's where we're at. We would have to draft that next player unless the haul that we get from the team that we're trading Giannis for sets us up in a position, but there's no way to cut it. Well, I guess to your point in the East that it still is a little open that if you actually get tangible, real NBA players that aren't superstars, but enough supporting cast players, you can be playoff, definitely play-in, right, contention. So they're not far off, especially for being in the East there. But I'm just damn, man, okay, if that's the case, why not just hang on to Giannis? I don't think this is going to come down to, you got to say the words you want to say. Giannis hasn't come out and said anything either way. He's kind of been very in between, blah about it from all reports that we're seeing and a couple of quotes from him. But he said, I'll probably stay in Milwaukee. Doesn't sound like somebody who's committed to the relationship. I'll probably stay with my wife is going to get me stabbed in my sleep. You get what I'm saying? There's meaning behind those words. So I'm interested to see if Giannis is willing to turn that dial on the pressure. But until then, Kwam, this feels like, hey, Milwaukee, get better or else. And if I'm Milwaukee, I'm okay, Giannis, we'll do our best.
I don't know if they can. Unfortunately, Giannis is 30, At this point, I think it's either he looks for a trade now, or like, when are you going to ask for a trade when you're 32, 33? Like, it don't, you just get diminishing assets at that point. I think you kind of got to, I think if Giannis wants to maximize the remainder of his career, it either needs to be this year or next year if he wants to get out. If he doesn't, I think he stays, but he should really take a page out of the book of loyalty from his former teammate Damian Lillard and see how loyalty pays you. I mean, hey, shout out to Dame for his whole reunion and, you know, getting back with his, like, cool. We ultimately, they sent him around, and now he's just gonna have a retirement tour when he's, you know, 36, coming off an Achilles injury. Like, his career is gonna amount to a whole lot of nothing, and he ran from the grind. It's gonna look like he ran from the grind and went home to retire his jersey. I don't know what kind of story Giannis wants to tell for himself. Obviously, he's won a championship, so he's already in a different stratosphere, so to speak. When he retires, probably a top 15 player all time, all things considered. But if he wants to stack more championships, I'll be honest, I don't think Milwaukee has a pathway. Just looking at their salary and their contract situations, it doesn't look like there's a great path here. I don't know if they can put up a trade package that can get a star, even if they wanted to. They gave up a lot for Jrue Holiday. We remember they gave up a decent bit for Damian Lillard as well. So they're kind of tapped on resources here. So this is where Giannis is going to have to look at himself in the mirror and say, do I want to stay or do I want to go? And if he needs to go, he needs to say with some bass in his voice and get up out of there. Otherwise, he'll just be another guy in Milwaukee that, you know, will put up crazy numbers, but you're never really too worried about. Even right now, who's the number 2 on this basketball team? Kyle Kuzma? That doesn't look good. So
that's trouble. That's trouble.
I'll pray for our brother up in Milwaukee, but it's not looking good.
It's not, but, you know, and I do appreciate his teams that Shams is reportedly saying that he's only focused on, the major markets like New York, LA's, and maybe Miami. It's like, well, great, bro. Now you're locking yourself in. And I get it. You know, like, hey, y'all ain't gonna Dame me, right?
Yeah.
Trade me to a team that really wants me, that I really don't want to be in that city. So I don't blame him if he just wants to go to the big boys. It would be pretty nasty if he ended up on the Clippers. But knock on wood there. You know, I do find it pretty interessante that we are now approaching a time where Giannis is getting pretty close to trade me or walk me. You know, he'll be a free agent right in that 27 season where Luca can potentially opt out. You know who else is available potentially in that 27 season whose GM just got off saying some weird stuff about potentially trading him? Nikola Jokic. And, you know,
that's going to be a hell of an offseason.
A hell of an offseason, brother. And I think that having Luka Dončić, who I think would pair up oh so beautifully with either one of them. I mean, obviously with Giannis being a little bit more yang on the defensive end for him, but also obviously a perfect match on offense. And Jokic just, you know, hey, I might be having them Balkan flags in the background if we get a Jokic Doncic pairing with the Lakers in a couple of years. Right. So have to brush up on my Eastern European history. So it's exciting, man. But you also got to think, does Giannis want to be in that or ahead of that? Yeah, in that means that now you have a guy that's equal. There's no way you can say under, equal to your stature. And some might say more accomplished. They can with all the MVPs, right? You might, just like how I made it with my last job decision when we found out my company was going through a acquisition. I didn't want to be in the Chicagoland area looking for a job with 200 other marketing professionals on top of the ones that already don't have a job, on top of the ones that will be coming out of college. I'm leaving now. And y'all can handle that when y'all can handle that, right? And best of luck to you. So I'll see if Giannis takes the Ricky approach and says the words he wants to say, or if he gonna twiddle his thumbs and go the Dame route and end up in Sacramento. Yeah. Nasty.
Time will tell. Time will tell, brother.
Time will tell. But I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Late Night Lake Show podcast. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. Yeah, let us know what y'all think in the comments. Is Giannis actually available, or is he just posturing for Milwaukee to improve? Do you think the Lakers can realistically compete for him with those 2027 assets? You know, let us know. But to wrap us up, Kwame, Luca's here. He ain't going nowhere. LeBron's here. We're pretty sure he ain't going nowhere. And if it is, it's to the retirement home or to...
Or his golf course.
Yeah. Oh, to the golf course. Yep. You're right. To the golf course.
Yeah.
Life is good over here, man. We can't complain. So, any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Hey, next year we got a big decision to make on Austin Reeves too. So there hasn't been enough talk about Austin. I think if anybody should feel like they're stepped on, it'd be Austin Reeves. It was looking like it was gonna be him and AD in the future. Can he really be a backcourt with Luka? A lot of question marks, I think, pop up around Austin a bit more than people aren't thinking about, but we'll touch on that another day.
Yeah, we'll lock in on Austin next week for you guys. Appreciate y'all rocking with us this week. For Kwame, it's Ricky. Late Night Late Show. Peace.